Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. We are reading from chapter 6, the Yoga of Meditation, and we're looking at Lord Krishna's answer to Arjuna's question, how do I practice meditation although the mind is so very restless? And we said before, in verse 35, Lord Krishna said, yes, the mind is very restless and very difficult to control it, but practice and dispassion will get you there. And now comes the second half of the answer of Lord Krishna, verse 36. I think yoga is hard to be attained by one of uncontrolled self. But the self-controlled and striving, one can attain to it by the proper means. Lord Krishna here is completing the perspective. What is he saying? Yes, it is hard. Yoga is hard to be attained. Yes, it is hard. But for whom? By one of uncontrolled self. And the one who is self-controlled can attain to it. Notice the word easily was not mentioned here. It said in the beginning, it's hard to be attained by one of uncontrolled self, but if you control, it is possible. Word easily is not used because it's not easy. It is a great effort to train the mind, to work against mental habits, as we said before, that we've acquired over so many lifetimes. And it takes a big effort, so it is possible. But for the person who is not disciplining the mind, here hard is closer to impossible. Without a disciplined mind, it is not possible. But the self-controlled and striving one can attain to it by proper means. So, Lord Krishna is telling us, Swami Shivananda explains in the commentary, uncontrolled self, he who has not controlled the senses and the mind by the constant practice of dispassion and meditation. So, if you think you will make progress in yoga by allowing your mind and senses to run everywhere, it will not happen. And here we see yoga, as we mentioned before, and we see it even more clearly when we discuss the gunas, the qualities of nature. Yoga is a lifestyle. If we want to cultivate sattva, purity, which is prerequisite for meditation. This is the guna, the quality that allows knowledge, light to flow in. We cannot be sattvic 5 minutes a day and the rest of the day be rajasic or tamasic. It will just not work. We have to train the mind to start working differently. We need to get used to a different lifestyle. One that is conducive to the practices of yoga and meditation, because without this, it will not happen. And we have to be willing to give it an effort. Here again, Lord Krishna is saying, striving one. We have to strive. We have to put an effort into it. And the effort is about disciplining the mind. If we just say, this is my mind, there is nothing I can do about it, it is restless now, it will remain restless forever, I shouldn't be dealing with it, I should just do my best to reach the best possible circumstances I can with the mind as is, maybe we will have a comfortable life, maybe we will be even righteous, but we will not reach the goal of yoga. For the one who wants to reach the goal of yoga, dispassion, self-control, self-effort are a must. Swami Shivananda tells us, self-controlled, he who has controlled the mind by the constant practice of dispassion and meditation. So we said before, this is not just when sitting for meditation. Swami Shivananda is not telling us here, sit all day. There are actually stories about how when he saw people over sitting for meditation, he would pull them and send them to do some karma yoga, to do some work, so that they will not get lethargic. What is meant here, all the time, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's happening to you, reflect. Somebody got you upset? Reflect. Who got upset? What just happening here? All the time, reflect, reflect, reflect. Keep the mind under control. Practice truthfulness, non-injury. Do the practices. In the Raja Yoga Sutras, the yamas and the niyamas, the observations and the prohibitions. Follow moral codes. Do the practices. Train your mind to be controlled, to be disciplined. Start changing the way you interact with the world. And by this, the meditation will be all the time, constant. And progress will be made. And again, we get the reassurance. He can attain self-realization by the right means and constant endeavors. Right means the practices that were given to you by your teacher. So we said when we follow only the instructions of our own mind, it will lead us in the wrong direction because it's restless and unyielding and turbulent. But when we follow the practices that are prescribed, given to us by our teachers, and we strive and we are serious about it and we are determined and we do it over a long period of time with the proper mental attitude, scriptures, and here again Swami Shivananda reassures us, it is possible. So yes, it is difficult. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, the mind is restless. You said it's hard to control as to control the wind. Yes, it's hard, yes. This is true. But if you match the effort to the level of difficulty, follow the proper practices, strive, you will make it. It is not impossible. It is very much possible. So this is the promise that we get here from Lord Krishna, and Arjuna still has more doubts, more questions, and we will see them in our next talk. Please join us. Om Shanti.